Maligne Canyon has to be one of Jasper's winter highlights. I mean, what beats walking through towering canyon walls surrounded by frozen waterfalls? This 50-metre deep canyon is spectacular all year round. In summer, you can see thundering waterfalls, but in winter, it turns into something completely different entirely and becomes a whole new adventure. And at only a 15-minute drive from Jasper, it really should be on everybody's bucket list if you're in the area. It is of course much further from Banff or Calgary, but if you're driving up the Icefields Parkway to Jasper, I would really recommend setting aside some time to visit this location. Finally made it to Jasper. It was a long old drive this morning all the way from Calgary, but it's definitely worth it. We are currently about to head into Maligne Canyon, and we've parked down at the Fifth Bridge. The Fifth Bridge is the one you can see behind me just here, and that is where I'd recommend parking for this. From there you can just walk on easily to all the main areas and then walk back to your car here. As you can see by the river behind me, there's not a lot frozen just down here, which I feel is a bit unusual for like mid to the end of January. But we have had some warm spells, so we will see what the canyon holds. But either way, do have to recommend taking some cleats or some spikes. It's going to be really hard to get down this trail without any. But do not buy these cleats. These are from Decathlon. They cost me like $40, and I used them for like 5 minutes on the way here on a little bit of an icy trail, and they've already broken. So I don't know if you can see this. This is like a little keyring that I've used from my own keyring. So that's come off my set of keys, and I've had to attach 2 of these just to make these things work. Ridiculous. Anyway, going into the canyon with broken cleats, we'll see how we go. Anyway, enough moaning from that guy. As we started the trail, we were surprised to see so much open water. At first, sections of the canyon that were frozen solid on previous visits were now freely flowing. We ventured deeper into the canyon, deciding to walk on the canyon floor as things slowly began to freeze beneath our feet. The year's relative lack of ice made certain sections a little trickier than usual. Our spikes probably weren't as useful as we hoped on the bare rock. The cool thing about Maligne Canyon here in the winter is that you can actually walk along the bottom of it. There is a trail that runs up, kind of on the cliffside, just up here, and you can see the railings. And they do kind of recommend a guide if you're going to walk through the bottom here, but we've been here a few times before, so kind of know what to expect. But there's definitely a few kind of sketchy bits that you have to kind of climb over and get through that are a bit icy or a bit slippery, so the crampons really are a must. The deeper we went, the more frozen things became, until we were looking up at what we'd come to see. Mother Nature's ice sculptures, the majestic, frozen waterfalls. It's a bit unnerving this year in the canyon. Normally when I've been here before, the floor's a bit more solid, but it is quite slushy on the top. But to be honest, we've seen a couple of like guided tours coming through, so I think we should be all right. But definitely a little unnerving seeing that, knowing there's might be a flowing river underneath. The canyon makes for some great photography. And who could resist standing on that famous Instagram rock and getting a photo while staring at the sky through the cracks above? In some years, you can walk further down the canyon. Like from memory, there's a couple of other kind of frozen waterfall-y bits, like smaller ones you can kind of slide down. But this year it's closed, and you might be able to see just behind me here, like that would be a straight platform a lot of the time where you could just carry on walking, but it's completely collapsed. So there hasn't been cold enough recently. It's been pretty warm the last couple of weeks. So unfortunately, we can't go any further, so we're gonna head on back.
As we headed back, the overhanging ice shelves became much more obvious. The hidden danger juxtaposed with visitors taking pictures and gathering on the edge.
So we ended up popping in probably about 2 p.m-ish, and to be honest, it's actually pretty hectic. I think in previous years I've been here maybe at like 4-ish, and there's barely anyone in the canyon, but there's a fair few guided tours and big groups going through it at the moment. But the conditions are certainly questionable. That big overhanging piece of ice that everyone's walking across, I don't know, it looks pretty scary to me, but yeah, we're gonna head on out. After seeing some of that thinner ice and the way it was hovering, we opted for the safer trail back and just took the trail on the top of the canyon, kind of with the handrail next to it, so we know we're not going to get any surprises. I mean, they do recommend visiting Maligne Canyon with a guide, and after today I can kind of see why. We've been here before, but you know, the conditions change every single year, and this is probably one of the sketchiest times I've been in there. There's a few bits that look like they're about to fall down, but a couple of recommendations is, you know, definitely find the right time. If you come here later in the afternoon, maybe more towards 4 o'clock, I think you're going to find it's a bit quieter because it's going to start getting a little bit colder. It was pretty busy in there, but it is always still pretty spectacular and well worth the visit. So if you've got the chance, you're in Jasper, come on down and see Maligne Canyon.